Oh, it was a hell of a Big 12 game. Our guys really hung in there and fought. Second half was a tough go for us offensively. They really turned up their defensive intensity. I thought Kirkwoth was phenomenal on defense for them, changed the game. But our guys hung in there, and we won this game on defense. We won this game by just gritting our teeth, staying tough, coming up with some big plays. It wasn't perfect. Matt Coleman certainly had a tough night. He looked tired. He looked a little down, but he responded and made a huge shot for us, which is what high character guys do. And then, Jericho, this is one of his most complete games that he's played. The guys did a good job finding him. To get him 10 shot attempts is a big deal. And then I'm also really proud of Greg, just the way he stepped up and hung in there and made those two big free throws late.
Thanks, Coach. We'll keep it to one question each, guys. Start with Bob.
Yeah, Shaka, just with about 5 minutes to go and y'all were struggling offensively, Courtney hitting those back-to-back threes, and you gave him a big pat on the butt when he made one of them. I'm just curious how the mentality shifts in those moments to, I got to make a play with him. I got to be the guy to knock down a shot right now.
Well, he's got a special quality, Bob, of stepping forward when his team needs him to. And I think what he sensed there was, we were just struggling. They were doing a really good job closing down some of our driving lanes. We were trying to get it to Jericho, but they were taking that away better. And he just stepped up. He makes big shots. Those 2 threes reminded me a lot of the 2 that he had against West Virginia. The difference was in that game, he fouled out. We ended up losing. In this game, he stayed tough till the end. And, his teammates and him really won it for us on defense.
Brian, go ahead.
Shaka, in some ways, do you think that the other guys needed to see Jericho play as well as he did offensively to get him more, to motivate them to get him more touches? And also, what do you think of his defense without fouling tonight?
Good, because it allowed us to keep him in the game, Brian. That's a huge key. I mean, when he gets 2 fouls early in the game, it's a little bit of a dark cloud because it affects the rotation and being able to get him in and keep him in. But I thought, early on for him to get some dunks around the basket and some good finishes, it really loosened up the game for us. And I think it makes things easier for our guards. Over the course of his career, it's not always been easy to get him 10 shot attempts. I mean, I don't know how many times he's gotten that many. It's because he's a unique player, but I thought our guys did a good job looking for him. He caught the ball, he went and got it, and he finished really well.
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, Shaka, obviously, not Matt's best game from an offensive standpoint, but he steps up and he makes a really difficult shot there with about 12 seconds left. Where was he at today? Why would those, why do you think he struggled? And what's it say about his character that he's able to still step up and hit that shot?
I thought he looked tired, to be honest, Nick. He had really good juice the other night in Ames. I mean, he just had a pop to him and a quickness to him. And, it could have been the road trip. I was worrying today during the day because it felt to me like a really long day to me, and I'm not playing. I thought he just looked a little tired, but he helped us win the game on defense. There's no question. Did a nice job on Reeves, to hold him to 4 for 12. One of those being the bank at the end of the half is a good night for us. And like you said, we put a lot of trust into Matt. Even if he's 0 for 4 from the field with 5 turnovers, we're still going to put the ball in his hands to let him make a play late.
Dustin, go ahead.
Shaka, obviously his free throws were huge, just calmly knocking those down by Greg. But do you think he gave you guys kind of that toughness and that energy on defense that Oklahoma seemed to benefit from earlier in the second half, and they kind of got some block shots and got some things going? Even with his foul trouble, he seemed like he had that look on his face, like he was going to provide some of that for y'all down the stretch.
Well, one of the things that Oklahoma does a great job of on offense is exploiting matchups that they like. And they were getting the ball to Alondas Williams against Greg, against Kai, against Jace, and they were just playing one-on-one, putting their head down. and he was pretty effective. 13 points, played 30 or almost 30 minutes. He hadn't played that much for them, but I thought Greg had a couple big defensive stops against him where he got his hand. I think he blocked a couple. Greg is a plus athlete. I mean, he's an athlete with length, and the more and more he learns to use that on the defensive end, the more effective he can be as a two-way player. Obviously, for freshmen, that's an adjustment, but he's had a few games now where he's really, really impacted the game defensively.
Chris, go ahead.
Shaka, this seemed like it was March basketball at its finest, high level, a rivalry game. How much fun was it to be in that game, and how good does it feel to come out of that with a win?
I mean, it's a ton of fun watching our guys in this type of game. I've got a lot of respect for Oklahoma because they just have a heck of a team, heck of a program, heck of a coach, and they are tough to guard. I mean, they're really tough to deal with. When Manic's at the 5, they literally got 5 guys in the game that can shoot and drive and pass. At the beginning of the game, both teams were kind of trading baskets, and neither team was playing the type of defense that they were capable of. And I told the guys, whichever team really steps forward defensively is going to win this game. And we did it latter part of the first half. Then they did it for much of the second half. But our guys, I thought the way we defended down the stretch was the difference. But it's a ton of fun being in these games. We got to turn the page. We can't dwell too much on this one because we got another one coming up.
Cedric, go ahead.
Well, Shaka, we know you were pissed off about having to play that OU game, that first one. You didn't get to be at the game, yet you were, in protocol. How big is it to go on the road, get this W, and I see you smiling through the mask, and also have a chance to really close this thing out very well with a little bit of rest before that TCU game on Sunday?
Well, first of all, Cedric,
say it with your chest.
I want to tell you, when I first came out of the COVID, I felt like a caged animal, man. So it's kind of how I was, in that first. Remember we did that first media availability?
Oh yeah.
I was just it was very upsetting. But anyway, watching that game was one of the worst basketball experiences of my life because I just felt helpless. And I knew our team was just less than whole. Courtney's not there. Jericho's not there. Brock's there, but he's in street clothes. I'm not there. And our guys fought and battled and came all the way back, still lost, so it's heartbreaking. And then this game was scheduled for, earlier than the snowstorm hits. We're not able to get up here a couple weeks ago. So, we knew this was going to be a really challenging stretch with 4 road games in a row. And this one right in the middle where we have to stay on the road. I kind of think of this as the college version of a back-to-back like the NBA has. Even though our guys didn't play 2 days in a row, it's about as close as it gets of, you're staying on the road. So just to find a way to come out of here with the win is big.